I promised a tutorial for my Lego sniper, so here it is. It's not 100% piece by piece, but you should be able to follow along and build it on your own. So let's get straight into that. Quick little warning before we get into this. I noticed that the rubber band is actually getting damaged, so if you don't have too many rubber bands, you might not want to build this. So first up is the trigger. It's a 7-long Technic beam hooked to a free long Technic beam with a hard shock absorber, which is simply connected through a free long Technic pin. You have this little piece in here which is connected to that, and then finally this part. You can see where it's all connected. Feel free to pause if you want to look closer. So that's the trigger mechanism. Here's a view from the other side, just in case. And the handle is simply held on by these angled Technic beams. So you're going to want a row of a total of 12 studs long Technic beams all lined up. This is so your firing pin can slide across. You're going to want to make some sort of wall. I use these parts. You need a total of 3 Technic beams in between. You can see how I hooked it all together. Now, 12 studs away from this part, you are going to want to hook in this. I hope you can see that well. That is what is going to stop the actual firing pin from flying out of the gun. So that is 12 studs away from this part. You can make it longer for more power, although that will be worse for your rubber bands. You can make it shorter, but it will be weaker. So just here's a full spin around of how the gun basically is, so you can probably get a good idea of how to build this first section. Next up is the firing pin. You can see how I made it. It's very simple. Feel free to pause if you would like to count the studs. This simply lifts, and this part right here is where the rubber bands are going to attach to. You can go ahead and put it in the gun and just attach your rubber bands to this part. Just like that, and this part right here is not needed. I just had that to hold the rubber band. And you can see at the front, the rubber bands hook to these 2 ball joint pieces, which are the exact same distance as the start of this piece. The underside of the firing pin should be able to catch onto that, although there is no top, so it might be kind of hard to catch right now, but you should be able to catch that, just like that. And now as a test run, you can go ahead and pull the trigger. And you can fold this down. This Technic beam should be right next to it. Now, onto the magazine. We'll link a tutorial in the description, but the only difference is simply this part right here. And I'll give you just a good look at how it looks on the inside so you can see the basic idea of how it is built. This one is built to hold up to 6 darts. You can make it as big as you want, although if you're a true sniper, you never miss. Back to the gun, you can build this little thing here and hook it just 1 stud away from this area. If the front of the firing pin passes by that pin there, then you know you built it right. The magazine, you can pull this back and load it, and it will hook right into that pin. Now, make sure it fits, and if that goes all the way back to its original position, the magazine fits. Now we can finally finish off the build. Starting off here, this shell area is held together by a few of these, just 2, held on either side for stability. This is not 100% needed, so if you can't hook these on, do not worry. Now you can build this little thing here. It's a 15 long Technic beam. Then you're going to hook it right into here so it reaches to the back of the gun. You've probably noticed this thing hanging out in the back. This is just going to flip over and connect to all these other pins. So here's a closer look at it so you can get an idea on how to build it. That is now fully hooked in, and we can start adding other bits along to try and fully close up the area. Through this area where the firing pin is, there should be a 1 Technic pin gap. Now for the final part to close off this area. Finally, just make sure that your firing pin can be pulled all the way back and work 100%. You can make this little thing or make it however you want to put at the front of the gun as the barrel. Just make sure it doesn't go too low and interfere where the bullet will go. You can add a grip just made out of cheese wedges. And of course now you can build a stock to any length you would like. So now, to make sure it works, we're going to test it. I'm going to be using these free long Technic beams, although you can use anything that is free long. Simply slide them into your magazine and use this bit to pull back so you can slide in more. You can continue to do that until you are filled up or you just want to be done. And then you can pull back on your firing pin to then load in your magazine. Sometimes it can be a little bit hard, but there we go. Now you can always test by pulling the trigger. And now you have a working Lego sniper. If this wasn't too easy to follow, I'm so sorry, but I hope that you are able to make your own from this tutorial, and thanks so much for watching.